Hey, what's up? This is West Coast NFL. Just playing some F1 2020 on the new Zandvoort circuit. Repping Winnipeg Jets. Go Jets. Want to say to everybody, lavate las manos. Wash your hands. How's it going? Hope everybody's doing good and safe. I'm gonna do another practice session at Circuit Vandort. Vandort, however it is, I'm not sure, but regardless. Put the tablet away, don't need that for anything. So I'm gonna step right into practice 2. Practice 1, I think it was like a 1:16 or something like that. It's my best time. Still trying to figure my setup up for the track. It is new with quite a few banked corners, which is like rare for playing F1 games. Been playing them for, I don't know, the better part of 20 years, but we're gonna say that I've been faithful for the last, since F1 2010 with Codemasters for literally every season I've had, regardless of whether I've finished every season or just did some online races or whichever. I mean, just to see the new stuff. But I gotta say, with 2020, F1 2020, I am impressed with it having the classic cars as well as F2 cars, which is kind of neat, especially for stuff, like with online races and stuff. I mean, F2 is going to be pretty cool to do those ones. Then everything's kind of on a little more level playing field, but what can you do? But with F1 2020 for the regular cars and stuff, with the 2 new tracks in Hanoi and Zandvoort, like I say, they're a really nice addition. Too bad that real F1 isn't going to actually race them. I figured I'd start doing and playing a little bit more since F1's off, and I did subscribe to F1 TV Pro, and I gotta say, right on, awesome app. Whatever reason I can't watch replays unless it's F1 exactly, like the F2, F3, and Super Cup. For whatever reason, I can't get the replays, regardless of how long I wait after 48 hours the next weekend, two weekends away. Even though it says that, I can view them, whatever. I mean, if you're up and you're watching the stuff live, which is, I don't know, just part of it, basically, I gotta say, like, from your, Thursday night, Friday midnight, I mean, there's stuff starting basically at like 12:30 Pacific time, right? So 3:30 Eastern, whatever, but 3:30, in the morning, 12:30 a.m. here. Starts then, and it'll run for like another 8 hours with, like 15-20 minutes in between for some of the things there, and it will literally run through all the practice sessions for all the different series. It's definitely worth the, what is that? I think I paid 79 or 89 bucks Canadian, so probably, 50, 60 bucks US. For the entire season, where like for F1 you can get all your replays during that weekend, right after they basically happen for practice 1, 2, 3, qualifying, as well as the race. And with the race and with the practice sessions and qualifying, you can pick up to 2 different drivers. So I mean, you don't even need to watch the network telecast or whatever is like the worldwide feed. You just watch the the in-car views of like certain drivers and stuff. And I'll tell you this, it is unedited, as it is, what is it, 3 to 5 seconds difference for the delay for the in-car. But I mean, it's unfiltered. I mean, they swear, they everything, but you get all the different communication, like of watching a race and hearing either a car degrade or how they're dealing with the problem, or just simply changing from different modes in the race where you're kind of on your conserve mode, attack mode, and just kind of following with the race pace itself for what your strategy is or whatever. But yeah, that F1 TV Pro is definitely a good investment. But yeah, back to F1 2020. I mean, the cars seem to drive pretty decent. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. But again, like I say, I'm still learning this track here, so And two, it's a my team car, so I mean, it's not like I'm driving, a Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams, Racing Point, the Alpha, like the Renault, I mean, like there's McLaren, I mean, there's only so many, different engine manufacturers anyways in F1, and so for my team here, I did pick the Honda Power, just because it was cheaper, and I mean, I saw what they did at the Red Bull Ring last year. I mean, and even this year, I mean, look at Lando Norris, and I mean, regardless of Hamilton's penalty, he would have been fourth if there wasn't for the penalty, but still, for McLaren to finish fourth, with two Mercedes, a Red Bull, in between them. That's pretty decent, and beating Racing Point, gotta say, right? So, well, I mean, that was race one, but still, I mean, they, the Hondas do have power. It's just I don't know what the reliability is, but that's why I'm kind of this season focusing with my development and stuff. Like, I'm going hard on the actual, making sure everything is, has some longevity, and keeping that part. So, but I am having trouble already in practice 2 for, what is it, my 4th or 5th race of the season. I only picked 16 races for the first season of my team. I just wanted to see how it was going to go. Otherwise, I'll pick like the full calendar, just so I'll get the maximum amount of components and stuff for the season and stuff. But if I cycle through to my power units and stuff, I mean, you'll see, I mean, like, expected lifespan, I've only got 39 more laps. So I mean, it's basically, I can't do very much for practice, or if I do practice with the car, it's one of those deals where I'm doing practice and just bear in mind we have to return the restarting sessions, just like for my sake, getting the laps and keeping set up, right? So don't waste any sets that you might need later on. I didn't want to pick super huge long races, just because I do have all the cars on which one call it simulation for the wear and stuff like that. So no assists and law check G29. The pit lane stuff is still tricky, like to pit assist is entry into the pit. The release pit assist is the pit assist is the entry and the exit for hitting the limiter. It'll automatically slow your car down, so you can just race up to the line and it'll slow your car. The pit release is because you with the manual pit release, same with the manual starts and the formation lap, you do have to press and hold the clutch and ideally reach the optimal revs and then release the button for the clutch. So it is pretty close with real F1 with having to do that. And then same with getting your tire and brake temps up during you know, either formation lap or the, you know, if there's a safety car, right? So have had a couple of safety cars so far. They've been for stuff in the back of the field or whatever so far this season. I'm only doing 25% for the first. My next season, I'll definitely do 50%. I just didn't want to lock myself in right away and get disgusted after, you know, 2 races and start again. So I just decided 25% for the beginning so I can get the safety car, formation lap, all that kind of jazz that goes along with it, right? But you know, it is what it is, right? So nonetheless, so that's to do with the clutch, and that's with entry and exit, stuff like that. I know with the racing line and stuff like that, I mean, I just don't like the racing line stuff for this. I mean, I know for some corners on this track, I need to go a little quicker and maybe just revise my, you know, my entry point or you know, or just even my entry speed, right? But or apex speed, whichever, you know, and change what line I'm taking for hitting the apex as to set up the next corners, because it's still, you know, because I am driving with the in-car view. The halo, you know, I do have to say it is super inhibiting for like viewpoint. Gotta say that thing right in the middle that comes up for going around. I, you know, when I'm going down a long straight, I don't see the car that's directly in front of me. You know, until I'm right up there, then I can see the cars. But yeah, there's definitely blind spots with that. So just want to throw that out there because it is kind of annoying. Yeah, I know I'm smoking, but whatever. It's legal here, so it is what it is. I'm not driving a real car. So, I know that stuff. Um, and then, of course, I've got the G29. I'll just show some. I don't really have much for the look forward, look back. I am using the Logitech G29, so I did put the DRS to L3, which is the proper side. And my pit limiter, I did put it L3 as well. I almost should have put it something like R2, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just a pain to stare down at your steering wheel. I mean, you got to do this stuff by feel. I mean, you can glance down. You know, in real F1, they've got a literal LED display that you can almost see out of your peripheral. You know, and the way that they are sitting their steering wheel is a little bit up higher. You know, so my next cockpit I am going to build with the style of the F1, where it's more of a sloped back, and my legs are going to be, you know, up where say a dash would be. But regardless. So, you know, the pit entry and stuff like that. Multifunction display on O button, so it's nice and easy. I did have these kind of changed before for MFD shortcuts, but multifunction display shortcuts, but I decided, nah, it'll be fine. So, regardless. I did do a couple of things for the and I did turn down all the effects. I turned up the force on the wheel because, you know, I like the wheel feeling strong, and the wheel is hard mounted, so it's not going to make a difference with that. But the vibrations that would come through the wheel, it was awfully loud for some of the stuff. I mean, if I've got the stereo hooked up to race and all that other kind of stuff, then it's all right. But you know, I've been the dick in the neighborhood for a lot of years where I've played racing games loud, you know, and with a subwoofer and all that stuff. So, not kind of past that stuff now. So, nonetheless. But yeah, to the shortcuts. So with the G29, you do have that rotating knob, so I did put that for my fuel mix, so it's something I can more so do on the fly. Not as responsive as I'd like it to be. I almost want to put it to these two. I think I'm gonna actually change these. So I'm gonna unbind both of these, or actually all four, and I'm gonna reassign to my fuel mix increase to up and the dedicated down button, just so that for my fuel mode it's on my downshift side, so it's nice and easy. My ERS mode, because I don't seem to change that as much, I'll put it to that button there, and put turning downwards or clockwise for increase and counterclockwise for decrease. I won't bother with the brake bias and differential because I can get into those with the regular MFD menu while I'm driving, and they're not something that I overly adjust too much. I mean, I know in previous years with F1, there was the the brake bias lever that they'd adjust for like one corner or whatever, but this isn't a real F1 simulator, so I just don't have that lever, and it's yet another button to have to hit on the wheel, which is, it's kind of annoying when you're having to drive, because it's not like you're in the middle of a corner, or you know what I mean, like real F1, they get told when to do it, and they do it on their next exit of the corner, and it's second nature because they've got their wheel that they full well know, with the proper adjustments and stuff, and they do everything off their actual digital display. So I mean, they're using minimal extra buttons, not like with the PlayStation where it's like hit the square button or the X button or the up on the D-pad or the down on the D-pad or the L2 button or the R2 button or the up button or the down button or the rotating button left or right, or pressing the where the rotating button is, pressing the button on that, like it's L2, R2, L3, R3, it's a lot of extra buttons that you're having to press while you're racing, and real F1 doesn't press that many different buttons. They cycle through the stuff. That's a lot of the stuff is, the amount of time that the only time they take their hand off the wheel is when they're adjusting one of the strap modes or engine modes, and they're actually turning a rotating dial, and it's, you know, 2 to 4 clicks, and it's like do, and then there's the adjustment. They don't, it's regardless, I've rattled on enough, but these adjustments I can do all through the actual menu itself. So, yeah. So, like I said, I got the clutch set to L2, change camera view, which I really don't need, but whatever. I mean, you can always do that through the start menu too, but. And like I said, multifunction display, I hit O, and I cycle through the 5 different menus on it, so it's perfectly fine. And then I've got my, direction modes to change all the different stuff. And I mean, it works good enough for slightly adjusting the bias. I mean, like I say, I don't set my cars up for quality laps. I set them up for like fuel runs for a race, or to run 100% race, so I'm not messing around with my brake balance too much, and I'm not super hard on my tires for locking up. I'll try and work that out in my setup throughout the weekend, and get that, managed, but regardless. And then the overtake, I've got on the X button. I almost should put it on the actual button for, which I'm actually going to do. I'm actually going to put it onto the rotate button because it's to do with fuel. So I've got my fuel up, down, and hit the overtake button, which is a huge button. You can't miss it while I'm driving, so I can easily hit the button, because fidgeting around to feel for where X is sometimes isn't as easy, so I'm gonna go with that. So yeah. All right, so back to this. I know I've rattled on, but you know, I've had so many of my F1 videos taken down by Formula One. Actually, you know, FIM, Formula One management, and it's I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but you know, so I figure if I'm talking away while I'm doing it, then I can't get the stuff taken down. Like midnight at Monaco, you know, like it's got it on the time setting where it'll let me drive at midnight, right? So, you know, it's, I guess because it's not an official race or whatever, but yeah, I do any kind of midnight Monaco live stream and boom, it's taken down. So, I don't know. So, let's, no incidents, it's just started. There's my teammate. Again, I'm just on season 1, so. So, like I say, all this stuff's like on its end, last leg, so I can't really do much for my practice and stuff like that. Sorry, so many buttons. And in my last video there I had 12 and a half laps of fuel, so it's kind of on a, I mean it's 18 laps for 25%, so. And yeah, it makes my back end a little loose, but I don't know, I swear for this track you need high downforce on the front. I mean, I can try less, but I don't know, I just, and I'm gonna have to watch a replay or two, because yeah, I gotta see if I'm bottoming it out. I don't think I am, but
checks complete.
I don't know.
We're ready.
So let's, after 15 minutes. I do really like this track. It's different. It's reminds me of when I played F1 97 Championship Edition and it had a couple of the bonus tracks. And I think Adia or something like that, and it had a couple of ups and downs and went underneath the tunnel, and yeah. First I was hitting second gear in this, but it seems third gear just is the right fit for that little chicane there. Alright. Trying to keep my revs down too, because turbocharger, fuck. Jesus. Getting
Okay, you
distracted
have wing
here.
damage. This will be a major performance impact unless you box for a new one.
No, it's just a lot of my components they're getting worn, so yeah. It's not front. I don't know. I think I'm going to take out that front camber because I can see on both of my edges of my fronts, on both sides there, got about, I don't know, that much of my front tire that seems that just isn't touching the track anywhere. And hook a little bit more mechanical grip up, and you know, that'll,
Car repairs have set us back
besides, you know, take off a little time, it'll mean I could drop some downforce if I can get a little bit more mechanical. So we'll drop that down. We'll just go wild all the way down, because the other step is, if it's still not wearing that, then I'm going to take my front tire pressure down just a tiny bit. I know I'm going to lose out on a straight, but realistically on this track there's not that many straights, so I mean you can totally focus your car and it's set up for going around, taking corners.
in the speed trap, 297.5 kilometers per hour.
Also, you know, I'm not running high fuel mode either, so
That's the fastest lap of the session so far. Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage. Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage. Race over. The stewards have black flagged you. Session, we need to return 2 sets of tyres. We'll give back the 2 most worn sets, so we may as well get the most out of them while we can. They won't be available for the rest of the weekend though, so don't run too hard on anything you might need later on. Okay, the track is green right now, so take a few laps to get the tyres up to temperature.
Hey, what's up? Not bad. I mean, the car feels pretty good, but yeah, it's a hard case just because I use it for work. But it fits a whole pack of smokes, the actual pack of smokes in your pack. So you never crush your pack of smokes. Whatever.
Okay, remember that the way the car handles is all about weight transfer. When you brake, the center of mass moves forward. When you accelerate, it moves rearward. And when you turn, it is pushed to the outside of the car. More load on each tire equals more grip. So make sure you're smooth with the controls to prevent the weight transfer from becoming too violent.
Motherfucker. So, wasn't bad considering, you know,
the car settings screen on your multifunction
I've
display
kind of used
will allow
up
you to
this
change
set of
various
tires
settings
that
as
I'm
you
using
drive.
right now anyways.
Open the display with the MFD button. You can then navigate up and down to the setting you want to change.
I mean, haven't used them up, but I mean,
314.5
you know,
kilometers per hour.
I don't know. It says 14 laps, but I think I've done more than 14 laps, so. Let's go to the old race director. So I did 5, but actually 6 laps. Technically 7 because I came into the pits, right? So that lap didn't count, nor did my first lap of going out of the pits. So not bad. Says that I only wore like 4 laps off the tires when I was actually out there for 7 laps. So not bad. Pretty typical. I mean, I'll do a minor lock-up of the front brakes every now and again, but I don't mind it. Alright, let's go tackle a practice program here. 16 minutes left. I can easily do that, or I should probably do the race strategy. And I'll just start it with a flying lap, but I've got enough time to complete the program, so it's one of the longer ones. Hopefully I don't have to do 5 laps. And actually, what I'm going to do, because I've already saved my game, and like I say, my stuff for my power units, they're getting done. Like, you know, I'd rather restart the session and, you know, load my setup that I've done these last 5, because those last 5 laps weren't bad, and I was dropping my time down a little bit, so it works. I got 2 more to do. 3, actually, shit. Funny. 3 more to do for 150 points. That's just insane. And I've done all my team objectives. Like I say, I'll just do a flying lap because it basically starts me. Sector 3.
Give us some consistent laps, please. We're looking for good data that we can work into the race strategy.
I'm going to do a little bit of lifted coast as well on this.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up. Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Car's handling really nice.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Woo! Got a little loose.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:17.1.
Do the fuel management, a lot of lift and coast.
We're testing fuel management here, so try to lift and coast going into the corners. Don't be too aggressive on the power, but remember, you still have to beat the minimum lap time.
I guarantee you could probably get it doing a normal lap. Try that again.
In this program, we want you to focus on fuel-saving technique. Lift and coast through corner entry to save as much as you can while keeping under the minimum lap time. complete and adjust.
And we'll do the ERS management, probably only be one lap.
In this program, we're looking at ERS management. This is all about managing your battery efficiently throughout the lap to hit your target time. The overtake button will drain the battery quickly, but it will also give you maximum power. Okay, test complete and...
Well, that should be all the practice programs. Yep.
Our best lap so far is a 1 minute 17.1.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top three, who are Thomas, Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel. What an incredible practice session. The fun doesn't stop here, though. Join us again as the...
And that's the end of part 2. Catch you for part 3.